So I'm going to suggest we start just in a nice little child pose. Release our back. If your head can touch something like your block or the floor, it can feel real good and signal to the nervous system to let go a little bit. Just breathe. One of my favorite starting postures, because the face down position sort of helps signal to the nervous system to relax. And also you can feel the breath coming into your belly. So basically a process of releasing the diaphragm, letting it flow in and out a little more deeply than it normally does. And also we can feel how the lungs, as they fill up, start softening the back. We're going to work quite a bit with some back, spinal, and hip stuff today. So letting any tension go there is a good thing. If your arms are relaxed, that's good. We'll begin to stretch the arms forward. So now we're getting a little bit more active in the spine. The buttocks kind of presses back towards the heels. Even if you're not all the way down, that's fine. And the arms kind of walk themselves forward. We're warming up the shoulders. And what I like to do is to come into a little bit of a C shape to get the side ribs to release too. So if you take both hands and kind of walk them to the left side of the mat, even off the mat if you can, feel those side ribs getting released with the inhale, exhale. Nice little side stretch. Few breaths. And whatever side you're on, walk them over to the other side. Find a good C shape. And breathe here on the other side. Then come back to center. We'll come to our hands and knees, tape all fours position. Shoulders over the wrists, spreading our fingers and feeling nice and connected with the earth in the fingers. Do a couple cat-cows. Inhale, let the chest open and look up. Exhale, just find a rhythm here. You're free to stop where you need to, maybe pause in any really tight area. You can wiggle the hips a little bit. 4 or 5 of these cat-cows in your own rhythm. Begin to release, energize the spine. Finish the next round, just come back to that neutral spine. I'm going to break down some of the vinyasa elements. They're a little bit easier to feel all the alignments on our knees. So we're going to come forward a little bit. This is like a half plank, you know, because our knees are down, but we're still trying to engage the shoulders, engage the core, come to a nice strong line. And then keep going down. So let the hips sink. Let the chest rise. And you're basically in a knee down kind of up dog. And we're just going to push back into kind of a little puppy. Puppy's where the hips aim towards the ceiling, and we open the chest, letting the chin kind of reach toward the floor. So it's a strong cat-cow movement. Same elements. We engage the core, and then we stretch the front body, let the back bend, and then back the other way. So do that a few times. I'm going to come look and make sure I gave clear instructions, but it's like an up dog, down dog from the knees. Very healthy for the spine. You should have good control over how deeply you go. Very nice. Yeah. And the next time we kind of come to neutral, we're gonna come to our knees, standing on our knees. So this is kind of a knee down mountain pose. Same elements. We want to have our knees aligned under our hips, or our torso is actually sinking into the hips. Yeah. Here's what I wanted to work on. Something I was thinking of you a little bit. Now this is hard. I have trouble doing this, but it helps to educate what our hips need to do to get our legs straight forward. So pretend we're in a vinyasa. We're going to lift the right leg through the center and then come to the knee forward. We don't have to lunge it, but notice what has to engage here to keep it straight and put it back. Yeah, it's hard. So what you did and what I do, what most of us do, is to get our leg forward, we let it come out. It's just a natural, the way our hips are put together. So we're working on trying to feel the knee coming straight forward. There you go. And straight back without that little out motion. Very good. Let's do it on the left. So we kind of got to find our balance on the right side, lift through the psoas here on the left, step forward, and then lift it and come back. Yeah, see how your knee went out? And your hips may not allow you to come straight forward, but as we're thinking about it, we'll improve that. So let's do it on the right leg again. We're going to come straight forward, try, and then we'll come into a lunge where we just sink our hips down between. There you go. We'll do it one more time. Come on back up to square, sort of right angles. You know, lift that leg and bring it back. It's hard. I was practicing it beforehand. It's like,
I try to go straight, I fall over, you know.
It's because of that habit we've all had to swing our leg out. Some of it's a strength thing, some of it is the way your bones are put together. You may never be able to go straight, but if you send energy down that right side, make sure you're nice and planted on what we're going to call the standing leg. That helps come through. Yes. And then just sink it into a lunge. Just sort of feel what's happening. We'll try to incorporate that in the vinyasa. Good deal. So go ahead and come to a down dog. Let everything kind of neutralize out. Press the hands into the forward part of the mat. Hold those high up to the ceiling. And do whatever you need to do to work out the kinks. Eventually you're going to want to try to lower the heels towards the floor. It doesn't matter if they get there. It's just that action of getting as long as we can be. Now, let the right leg float up. A little three-legged down dog. We're not trying to get real high on this. Bring that knee, pretend you could touch your nose with that knee. Yep. And then lunge it forward. Yep, that's it. See how you kind of came between your arms instead of around your arms? And you might have to come up quite a ways. That's good. So here we are in a lunge. Even if we have to adjust, we're going to do that. The left leg's going to come forward, meet the right. Here we are in a forward bend. Let the breath help us come up to standing. So we're coming to mountain, Carl. Did your video freeze? There you are. The video froze, so I was yelling at you. No, come up. We'll do that same thing coming down. So raise the arms overhead. Here's our extended mountain. Let the exhale bring us to the forward bend. Let the knees bend so that we can contact the floor with our hands. You can even come up to your fingers. And now feel that action of how the leg has to lift straight. The right leg's going to come back into the lunge. Very good for the hips. Same thing with the left. Left comes through the center. That little curl back. I'm going to lower my knees and lower myself all the way to the front. Here comes our cobra or up dog. Still working the spine, curl the toes, and lift the hips. Down dog for a couple nice deep breaths. Should start feel heat coming into all the joints. Here we go again. We're gonna raise that right leg. Find that little tuck, knee to chest, knee to nose. See if we can lunge that through. There you go. It takes a little momentum, that's okay. But if you're not flaring your knee out, you're working those center muscles. And then the left comes to the right. Here we are in our forward bend. Find your in-breath. Come to raised mountain. Arms overhead. It's okay to look up. Maybe even a little arch. And we'll do that one more time using the left leg to lead. Arms come overhead, forward fold, contact the ground, bend the knees, whatever it takes. Here's the action. Down the right leg, left leg lifts, straight up to the chest and curls, and then comes back to the lunge. Beautiful. Same with the right leg. See if you can find that core. Right leg back. Drop the knees. You can do the straight push-up chaturanga if you want. I'm dropping my knees, lowering to the floor, nice and controlled. And then take the in-breath with the arch. Come to that back like we practiced in the up-down dog. Curl the toes, push back. Nice down dog, warm joints. And prepare to let the left leg curl in. You'll actually come into that little cat. So the back actually rounds a little bit before the foot comes forward. You got it. Right leg comes to meet the left. Brings us to our forward bend. And then lift up to our nice raised mountain. Letting the breath finish and come down. Good job. So that's a lot of very subtle action, but that was all for the fact that it's a very hard move to come through the center line, as if there's a line in the center of the mat, because this action will not hurt you, that wide leg. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. We're just trying to build up that inner strength of the inner leg and learn to lift the belly to give room for that action. It's just gonna build your vinyasa. So go ahead and finish, just roll on up. And we'll come to some standing series. Hopefully we've warmed that hips and core. We'll pay a little bit of attention to that stuff now. I'm gonna stand in the center of the mat. You can kind of face inward because we want the long way. So come to the center of the mat. Yeah, you can't even see. Here we go. And the reason I'm doing that is we're going to come to our warrior from here. We can step out to a warrior, or we can try this little jump. Sometimes this is very helpful in Hatha yoga, to just jump our legs out. It's a good little quick move, yeah. So we're going to come into our warriors from here, our warrior stance. So the left foot is going to turn straight towards the back. The right foot is going to angle in, usually about, yes, perfect. Nothing too wide. We're going to start with our straight leg. So the front leg's straight, the back leg's straight, and we're kind of equal between those feet. Let the arms come up, parallel to the floor. We're going to come into triangle. Thinking about those hips. So the hips are trying to open out to the side of the mat. We're going to lean the left hand forward and let the body come over that front leg and find our triangle. If our bodies aren't warmed up, I'm not going very low. I'm kind of trying to support myself on my shin. Let that top arm come nice and high towards the ceiling and open the chest. Now, bend the front leg, with your left leg, and we're going to come into warrior two. And notice how the hips sort of stay the same orientation, open towards the side of the mat. There's your warrior two. Now, we're going to come into our extended angle, Parsvakonasana. We're going to let our body lean over that front leg. I'm going to support myself, yep, just like that. Forearm on knee. We're just breathing and noticing what's happening in the body in these warrior stances. Come on up. We're going to come up through warrior two. Straighten that front leg and let both feet come parallel. You're facing the side of the mat. There you go. From here, we're just going to rest. We're going to lengthen our spine and do a forward bend in this wide angle, coming to about as far forward as we can with a nice long spine. So the top of the head is reaching forward. And then let the back release, soften, let gravity take over as you're in this wide angle forward bend. And just release and breathe there for a minute. Safest way to come out of this is to soften the knees, put the hands on the waist, and kind of roll your spine up. Depending on how strong your spine is, you might be able to come up with a straight spine. So just play around with that, make sure. Yeah, very good. So here we are, we're in this wide stance. Let the arms come out to the side. We're going to try to jump back to center with that little quick move. Just jump our feet together. Yep, good. We've got to do that on the other side. So we're going to jump our feet out again. That's probably a good thing. Now this time the right leg's going to face forward. That's your front of the mat like that. Here we are, our arms are wide, parallel to the floor. Hips are trying to open up. We've got good energy down both legs, not just the front leg, but the back leg. Reach the right arm forward and come into your triangle. Nice and mindfully, so you're not collapsing the side body, kind of maintaining a lift and an opening in the chest. Quite a strong move. We're going to come out into Warrior Two, so the side body begins to lift. At the same time, the front leg begins to bend. Yeah, there you are. We ended up in Warrior Two. Now we're going to do that nice side stretch, extended angle. Few breaths. You're kind of finding an in-breath to send energy down the side body, all the way to the foot, all the way up the leg, into the side body. Let that lift you up. Back to Warrior Two. Straighten the front leg. Let the feet come parallel again. You're in that wide angle position. This time, I hope you can see me. I can't see myself. It's kind of ridiculous. There I am. This time, do what you can. We're going to try to extend the front body a little bit by clasping behind, our hands behind. Yeah, you probably know this position. If you can clasp your hands, great. Let those shoulders rotate down the back, open the chest, and then begin that forward bend again. Kind of finding, not just collapsing into it, but stretching the body, stretching the spine, sort of to a half forward bend position. And then as we soften, the hands will probably let go. It's going to let the hands go. They make their way to the legs or to the ankles or to the floor, whatever allows you to just deepen into that wide angle forward bend. Soften the knees anytime, if that helps you release. Now take the right hand and place it kind of in the middle, even if you have to bend your knees, because we're going to use that as support for a twist. So the right hand's in the center between these wide legs. We're going to let the left arm float up and kind of look at it and see how much of a twist. Beautiful. Get there, just look at it. Let it come back down. It's going to replace the right hand, support the twist on the other side. Right arm floats up. Spiral that spine. Look up if that's comfortable for the neck. Come on back to center. And pick your way of coming out of this pose. Hands to the waist or hands out to the side. And lift the back up. And jump the feet together. Down to the mat, we'll do a little core series. As part of this hip and spine work. Before we come into like a boat, I'd like us to just bend our knees, heels are hip width apart, and you'll sort of decide how close in you want it. We want to be able to get the back nice and long, and you're doing it right. You're leaning back, that's where we're headed next. So the back is actually supported and long, okay? Now, see if you can lift the legs, both feet in, yes, and out into that kind of boat position, and then back. So we're working that, as we try not to let the legs flare out, we're working that muscle, that kind of energy line down the center that we worked in those lunges. So just some little ins and outs. So when I come out, my elbows sort of bend more, and when it comes in, you can straighten up. Just see if you can do 3 or 4 more of those. With the breath, inhale, exhale usually works. Wow. Really working that deep muscle. And then to release out of it, just sit up and hug. Stretch that front body. Do that one more time. So, do you feel that pretty strongly inside the leg and into the hip?
I felt that in the lower back.
Okay, I would rather we didn't find it in the lower back. So we'll see how this goes. Sometimes you can change the position of your arms, kind of help support that lower back. We want this to be more about the deep core and hip flexors. So if during doing it, you start feeling that weakness in the lower back, just come out. You can always come back in. We're going to try a sort of off angle to get into the side of the core. So instead of straight in and out, we're going to see if we can bring the knees to the right and to the left. To the right and to the left. Just do it until your back says that's enough for me. I'm going to try to do a couple more. And after this one, I'm just going to sit back up and release. Yeah, that's those simple moves, but they're really deep. Now we're going to try a regular boat pose. Kind of comes from the same kind of strength we just did. But now instead of using our arms, we'll try to balance on our sit bones. And wherever that balance works for you, keeping the knees sort of aiming together. Yes, perfect. Keeping the back straight. Very much a back strengthening exercise. You can keep a hold of the knee if that helps your back, or let go and just come out of it. Let's do that a couple times. So we want our back to get strong, but we don't want to injure it. So there's always that fine line. You just have to judge for yourself whether the front body is supporting or whether you're bringing the effort into the lower back, which is probably not a good idea. So one way to modify is to just keep the knees fairly low. Want that back fairly straight and engaged. Only raising the knees as high as you feel the back can support. Come out. So that's our full boat. We'll try to go to a half boat. Half boat's that one where we're much wider. The feet are off the ground, kind of looking at our toes. We're at a much wider angle. You have to judge whether your back can support it. If it can't, you're just going to let yourself roll down. So here I start in the half boat and I begin to widen the V, engaging strongly through the core. Breathe and hold as long as I can, and then just lower on down and let that body just stretch out along the floor. Oh, usually it feels good to really let the hands come overhead. I like to interlace my fingers. Let the arms stretch way long. And really just elongate all those muscles you just contracted. Now I'm going to show you a little move that's called the hinge. See if it works for you. We start on our back like this. The hands are palms down near the hips, and they actually come under the buttocks. So you kind of are, yeah, on the, you can even fist them a little bit. This is going to help protect the back. Helps tilt the pelvis and protect the back. So let your legs come up vertical, or as close to vertical as you can. And then what you do is you begin to lower the legs to whatever angle your core will support. Let the head come up, look at the toes, and then eventually you kind of press the elbows into the floor and hinge up. Perfect, Carl. And it just feels good to just stretch out for a second. We'll do that a couple times, that little hinge move. So it starts on our back. I'm going to roll down, so I'm nice and controlled, trying to touch my vertebra to the floor, lower, middle, upper. Stretch out. And then prepare for hinge, so the hands come under the buttocks, fists are flat. Lift the legs to vertical. And begin that hinge action. So you're controlling the legs as they come down, lifting the head so you can continue to look at the feet. Find the angle that works, hold it just for a half a breath or a breath, and then press up with the elbows. Beautiful. Nice long stretch forward. So I hope your back's okay. We'll call that good. We'll do a little stretch out series. So here we are, sitting up. Let's bring the right leg into the groin. So you bend the sole of the foot's against that other leg. Your leg might not be so high up. Yeah, you'll find that place. And even what I like to emphasize here is that the back is supported. So your Janu Shasana might be not very far in. You feel okay in your back?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then see if you can sit the back up nice and straight. That's the work, the strengthening work. Let the arms float up. And keep the back long, as if you can let the hands go past the foot. Nice long spine. Nose to toes. You'll find a place where you cannot go any further. You just breathe in there for this active stretch, mostly about the left leg. Now relax the spine. The head will probably kind of come down. The back is curling. You're just going to breathe here in a passive stretch. Breathing and releasing that back that we work so hard. We're letting it decompress. And the hands can do whatever they want. They can find something to hold on to just to assist you coming down. They can stay on the floor or grab a foot. But we're not being aggressive and pulling. We're just using that to help assist the release of the spine. I'm just going to breathe here for several breaths. It takes a little bit of time for those muscles to let go. Probably feeling it in your hamstring all the way down the leg. But mainly this pose today is about the back. Come out of it nice and slowly. I like to use my hands to kind of help support the back, roll out. Release that leg. And we'll do that on the other side. So find the place on the left leg bent. Looks a little different on this side, yeah? You're a little bit looser on this side, Carl.
been that way for 40 years.
I hear you. So that's what we live with. And we just straighten that spine. So we start to stretch this very active mode, like trying to get it as long as it can be, pretending that we could just lay the body right along that leg. But it's more about lengthening. That lengthening action engages the back muscles. This actually is a stretch, but it's a strengthening position for the back. And we begin to release the back, lowering the arms, softening. Let the back round, let the head and the torso be the weight. It just passively opens and stretches beneath those muscles into the deep tissue. It's a yin kind of quality. We don't rush it, we don't force it, we just breathe. The main thought we have is about letting go, surrendering. Start thinking about coming out of it by just taking an in-breath, letting our hands support us, support the lift of our spine. We want all those muscles to stay relaxed, let go, and we can straighten out one more time. We can try that same technique to get us deep stretch in the inner leg, which we've worked. I usually kind of come sideways on the mat. You're on a carpet, so it doesn't really matter. What we're going to try to do is come to a V. So the legs are open, maybe about 70% of how far you can actually open them. And it's the same technique. We first straighten the spine, maybe supporting ourselves with the hands. And that might inform you, Carl, that you actually need to soften your knees a little bit. Because you're leaning back, that's a stiffness in this hip socket. So I believe it's better to protect the spine by softening the knees. That allows you to sit up a little straighter. You'll find some in between that works for you. And then take that forward bend, starting with a straight spine, inching your way forward as your body lets you go with a straight spine. Might not be very far. Once we find that edge, now we soften the spine, let it round. Let gravity take over, muscles release. And you're just going to hang it up for a few breaths in your forward bend, in this kind of dragonfly, wide angle, forward bend, seated. Come out, it's the same technique, just finding a little in-breath, bringing a little bit of muscle tone back into the spine, help yourself lift up. Good. And sometimes it feels really good after all that leg stretch to just windmill the legs out a little bit. What I do is I lean back, let the knees be softly bent, and just let them rotate side to side. See how that feels on your hips. So they come over to one side, over to the other side. What that does is it alternates an inward and outward rotation of each hip. Nice and gentle. Sort of saying thank you for being in that tough shape. Releasing those deep tissues that had to work. Sit up. We can stand one more stretch. It looks like we have time. I'm gonna try to bring both heels into the groin. This is our Baddha Konasana. So we start with a straight spine, just like we've been doing. So sometimes it helps, to hold on, help that back straighten out. At the same time the back straightens, the knees will kind of flare out, Well, that's our straight spine version. For the yin soft spine version, we let the heels come away. You might not need to come out too much more than that. Yin's a little, perfect diamond shape. And that way, hopefully our back can round and gently release forward. So here we adopt that releasing attitude, that yin attitude, and just breathe. Let whatever's tight get stimulated. Hopefully let go, even if it's just a millimeter. Just breathe into the back, let it soften. Get ready to come out. Same way, we're going to actually come up, release the stretch, but come onto our back. So nice and controlled, roll yourself down, keep your knees bent. So we're just going to let the back release against the floor with this constructive breath. The knees bent means that lower spine can let go. We did work it today, especially with that core work and those lunges. So we just want to, what I usually do is make my feet a little wide so that the knees can actually relax inward a little bit. Sometimes that helps release the pelvis and the lower back. You'll find your perfect position just to whatever feels like it's neutralizing. And go ahead and give yourself a knee squeeze. So both knees, you grab whatever you can grab and just let the knees aim towards the chest. Directly releases the low back. You can even give a little movement side to side. That kind of massage actually feels good. Actually very good for the kidney meridian of the body. And then let the arms come out to the side. And this T position is going to support the shoulders, trying to stay quite rounded into the floor, and let both knees come to the left side of the body. Hopefully you can find a way to let them release towards the floor, even if you have to bring your knees down quite a ways. Or this is where you could use a block, Carl. You just let that back spiral and release. So you know what I mean? That block can be kind of under the knees. If it's hard to hold, you look fine though. A few breaths here. go to the other side, you can give yourself a knee squeeze again, or you can just lift the knees without using them towards the chest. The hips will roll, flatten out against the floor, and then let that left hip come up as the knees aim towards the right side of the body. And let that left shoulder stay nice and grounded into the floor. Breathe. Use the breath and the core to just bring those hips back to neutral. Let the feet come to the floor again. So we're in that little constructive rest. We're going to lift into a bridge. So the hands can come down by the hips. It's usually a good starting position. The feet are however near the buttock they can be. And the first action is to press the feet into the floor and let the lower back straighten out, flatten out against the floor. That's actually the most important thing we're doing here. If it feels okay to lift the hips a little bit, go ahead and do that. Not trying to get too high, we're just doing rolls here to the back. And then lower the hips back down to the floor, touching the tailbone last. Release all the effort. We'll do that 2 more times. So press the lower back to the floor. Press the feet to lift the hips. Maybe you come up a couple inches higher this time. Try to keep those knees working towards the center, working towards each other. That brings back that center that we've been working, and lower the back, vertebra by vertebra. Tailbone hits last. Release the effort. You should feel a little bit of an arch in the lower spine. Final bridge. Lift the hips. Come up as high as you feel comfortable. You can get up onto the shoulders if you're strong enough. Kind of getting the benefit of an inversion and a lot of leg and buttocks work. Deep breaths, whatever you can maintain, and then roll that spine down, vertebra by vertebra. Good. Final little knee squeeze. And we'll stretch out the back of our legs from this reclined position. So let the left leg come long. The right knee stays bent. And grab behind the knee or the upper thigh and begin to straighten that leg up towards the ceiling. We can use a strap here, but I think it's okay to just use the arm strength wherever you can reach to just breathe the back of that leg open without working too hard. Make some little ankle rolls in this position, usually feels good. Circling the foot a few times in one direction, a few times in the other direction. Slower is better. Try to let that joint get to totally stimulated. And then flex the foot strongly, point the foot, flex the foot, point the foot. That takes your mind off all that work in the hamstring. And our final action on this side is to lift the head towards the knee. So your arms probably come up a little higher, and you pretend you can kiss your knee. Nice long stretch for both the spine and the back of the leg. And release out of it, just lower the torso down, let that right leg float down. Ooh. Just take a breath. Feel how different that leg feels from the other one. We're going to work it in a second. Okay, let it come, bend the knee, let it come in towards the chest. Let that bottom leg kind of stay long along the mat. That helps release some of those muscles we worked in the hip. And then begin that action of raising the leg toward the ceiling. The straighter your knee is, the longer, the more muscles you're getting in the back of the leg. But the knee might not straighten all the way. You're still getting good stretch. You're just aiming the leg up, aiming the leg towards the head, and just letting it breathe and release. Finding the hand position that works to assist that stretch. We'll work our feet a little bit. First with circles. Nice slow circles in one direction. Nice slow circle in the other direction. And then some point flexes. So I usually start with a flex, trying to get the toes to come right towards the shin, and then point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, and then we'll begin to walk up that leg, that little knee kiss, forehead to knee, as high up as you can get. And the leg come a little bit closer to the torso, releasing the back because it's rounding. And then float that leg down. Complete that little leg series. We're just gonna let ourselves come to Shavasana, doing whatever we need to do to get comfortable. My blanket's in the way, so I'm gonna move it to the side. I kind of start with my back, so my knees start kind of bent. Make sure the head, the back of the neck is nice and long in the floor, not holding tension in the jaw. And then one by one, straighten out the legs. If you have a favorite way of getting there, feel free. One knee straightens and the other knee. Do this little body scanning where you just check and make sure everything feels comfortable down there. With the arms kind of weight the body, the palms come up. Check that the shoulders are just not holding anything up, they're just nice and flat against the floor. Close the eyes and breathe. Just enjoying the fact that we have nowhere to go. Just giving our body time to integrate. The benefits of the practice. Cultivate a sense of gratitude here for life. Let the breath just find its natural way. We want to give ourselves plenty of time to end the practice. Little by little, bringing the energy back into the body. We bring the legs together, rolling to one side. Helping ourselves sit up. Holding on to that sense of centered calm. And we bring the energy back into the heart area in Anjali Mudra. Hands together at the chest, and we can try to close with an Om. Nice deep in breath. Namaste.